Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of To the Point. Today's topic of discussion is Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. First of all, let's see why it is in the news. The European Union's EU Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, CBAM, has been condemned and rejected by BRICS nations, including India, for its potential to harm the economic interests of developing countries. Now let's discuss about Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. The CBAM, introduced in 2023, is a tariff imposed on imported goods that are produced in countries with more lenient climate regulations compared to the EU standards. Its purpose is to prevent carbon leakage, which refers to the movement of industries to countries with less stringent environmental laws, thus maintaining European competitiveness while addressing climate change. CBAM is designed to impose a tax on carbon-intensive products such as steel, cement, and aluminium that are produced outside the EU and imported into its markets. In the future, the EU plans to expand CBAM to include more products and implement the final phase of the policy by 2026. Now let's talk about the problem with CBAM. While the EU's intentions may seem aligned with its climate goals, CBAM has been criticized for being an unfair trade barrier. Developing countries, especially in Asia like India and China, argue that this mechanism disadvantages their industries. The taxes make their products more expensive in the European market, thus reducing their competitiveness. Additionally, countries like India argue that CBAM is a unilateral measure that violates international agreements, including those related to climate change and trade, such as the Paris Agreement. Now lastly, moving on to BRICS' stance on CBAM. At the recent BRICS summit in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, BRICS nations issued a strong statement condemning CBAM as a punitive and discriminatory protectionist measure. They argued that the EU's imposition of such tariffs undermines their efforts to transition to a cleaner economy. BRICS countries emphasized that the carbon border taxes violate global trade rules, particularly the provisions of the Paris Agreement that protect developing nations from the economic impacts of climate action measures. The group also expressed concerns about the potential for market distortion, which could disproportionately affect economies that are still developing their green technologies. Now is the time for practice question. Consider the following statements about Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. 1. CBAM is intended to level the playing field by imposing a tax on carbon-intensive products imported into the EU. 2. BRICS has accepted the CBAM as a necessary step for global climate action. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? A. 1 only. B. 2 only. C. Both 1 and 2. D. Neither 1 nor 2. Send the answer of this question in the comment section. Thanks for watching. For more informative content, like, share and subscribe. And do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.